Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make an aquarium. Please do remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. In the aquarium, we have every type of fish, a turtle, a selection of aquatic plants, we have an impressive central display that houses a huge cluster of corals, glow squids, and schools of tropical fish. We also have a small park with swings, a slide, a seesaw, and a sand pit. Last but not least, we have a dolphin pool with a stand where we can watch the dolphin show. Watch until the very end of the video to see where we place the aquarium in our city. This is the amount of space required to make the aquarium. And here are some of the materials that we will use throughout the build. And here are the rest of them. First of all, we will make the aquarium itself. Begin by placing 5 light blue concrete extending up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend to the right, also by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend down to the ground. Then dig in the ground to the right by 1. And then dig backwards by 2. 1, 2. Then dig back and to the right by 2. 1, 2. Dig to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dig forwards and right by 2. 1, 2. Forwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forwards and left by 2. 1, 2. Left by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dig forwards and left by 2, or rather back and left by 2. 1, 2. And then connect back to where we first started. The end result will be this partially volcanic circle, which we then want to fill in using cyan terracotta. And then, whilst we're here, let's remove the centre of the circle. And replace all of these blocks with sand. I think it's best that nobody thinks about why there may or may not be lava underneath the aquarium. Next, we want to stack rows of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 glass block on top of every single cyan terracotta. This will form the centerpiece of our aquarium. Then, we want to stack smooth stone slabs along the top of our glass. Place a row of 5 light blue concrete extending up alongside the centre of the right of the tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to extend right by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We then want to extend all the way down to the ground, and then extend forwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Left by 2, 1, 2. Up by 2, 1, 2. Left by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend down to the ground. And then left by 2, 1, 2. Then we want to extend backwards and join up to the row of light blue concrete that we extended from in the first place. We also want to place glass block here, 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 and here. And then we want to fill around the block in using light blue concrete. And then on the opposite side, glass here, 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 here. Then, coming this way, here, and also here. Just like this. So we want to have 5 windows in total. Then, on the front portion, we can just simply fill all the way around these in. Above and inside of this space, we want to place a layer of glass block. So this just completely covers all of the empty space that we would otherwise have, just like this. Then we are going to place a layer of smooth quartz slabs above and around the outside of the glass block. So it'll end up looking like this, which is really cool. Just to the left here, this is actually an entrance/exit, so we want to add an extra row of light blue concrete up the side here, and then across the top, and there you go, simple as that. Now, whilst we are kind of augmenting the front of the aquarium, this is the main entrance, although there's like 3 different entrances, so it doesn't really matter. We want to add 2 rows of light blue concrete extending down, just like this, and then white concrete here and also here. So from the outside it will give us this appearance, and we want to stack a layer of smooth quartz slab just at the top here, lanterns hanging down just like this, and then you know what, let's do it. We'd usually wait until later, but we are going to add a sign that says fish. So open up the loom, white banner in there, black dye, first letter we must make is F, so this is the pale Dexter pattern, chief, and then fess. Next is I, so the pale pattern. Next is S, so the chief, base, bent. Lastly, H, which is pale Dexter, pale sinister, and fess. Perfect. So we will place these in between our lanterns, F, I, S, H. Perfect. Fish. Back to the right side of the building, we want to extend this light blue concrete block backwards by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Simultaneously, extend it all the way down to the ground and all the way across the back of the build. We want to connect it all the way to where we first started and join just like this. That was absolutely perfect. Did you guys see that? We then want to extend this corner block down, just like so. And then we have the fun of filling in all of these walls with light blue concrete. Next, fill the entire roof section in using light blue concrete. It is now time for us to head inside and work on the interior. In the back left-hand corner of the room, we want to leave a gap of 2 and then mark out a light blue concrete. Leave a gap of 2, light blue concrete. 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 And then once more, gap of 2, light blue concrete. We should have 6 individual spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We then want to extend the light blue concretes forwards by 2. 1, 2. We want to remove all of the space in between the light blue concretes. Fill the back 2 rows in with sand. And then place sea lanterns in front of the sand. Then we want to stack light blue concrete, extending up on top of the pre-existing rows until we reach the ceiling. Then we are going to add an additional row of light blue concrete in the top of the tank. Feel free to do a multitude of things here. If you want, you could make the first 2 rows glass and then light blue concrete in front, and then that will allow light in from the roof if we wanted to make holes in the roof. You could even use a contrast material instead of the light blue concrete at the front as well. You might like that look better. There's a bunch of stuff that we can do, but a lot of this is really subjective, and I kind of just like the light blue as well. But I do actually think that the glass is a solid idea, so I think that we will also... By the way, guys, this is a good opportunity to do this. It would be a good idea to mark out where each one of these tanks is. And the easiest way to do that is by knocking out the ceiling inside. And that will allow us to access the tanks from the top. But once you have figured out all of that, we are going to fill the front of these in with glass. So on top of these sea lanterns, good old regular glass block, just like this. And this will create 6 individual tanks, which we are now going to head outside, but then inside, and fill all of these in with water. We are going to leave the tops open for decoration. You, of course, only have to fill in to the top of the glass, but you could come all the way up here, and as I was saying earlier, you could then fit glass into the ceiling afterwards if you like, but for now, we really should just leave the tanks open. I think I am just going to fill all the way up to almost the very top, and, well, that way the fish get a little bit more area to swim around in, which is quite nice. Eventually, we will end up with 6 individually filled in tanks, which moves us on to this next part. We want to place a layer of light blue concrete right of the 6th tank, just like this. Then, in the ground, we want to dig a row of 4 extending forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, dig all the way over to the right, and replace all of this empty space with cyan terracotta. We are then going to remove all of the grass inside of the space, and we are going to mark out an area that will be raised. So the raised area is made using sand, and I would recommend placing about a row of 6 sand or so. Leave a couple of row wide gap here on the left, add a few rows of sand in front, and perhaps just extend the end here a little bit. So we've kind of made a little bit of an island. It could even be this shape. We can then remove all of the remaining blocks, just like this, and we can add another layer of sand just in front, so we have this nice little island. We can add some light blue concrete just around the edge here, and we can fill the lower portion in with water. And we have some more light blue to add here as well. That is absolutely perfect. Also, we are going to make a little tree. So this is made using jungle wood. We'll place a couple of jungle wood here. Surround the upper one with leaves, just like so. And one on top. And we can place some turtle eggs here, just at the edge. And this is the enclosure for the turtle, if you guys haven't guessed. And on top of our cyan terracotta area, we are going to stack 2 rows of glass. And there we go. Perfect. Which moves us on to this next part. In front of this glass here, stack 2 rows of light blue concrete. Then we want to leave a gap of 1 and then place 2 light blue concrete in between these windows. Gap of 1, 2 light blue concrete, and follow this pattern along until we reach a natural conclusion at the end. We then want to extend all of the light blue concretes an additional row forwards, place sand in between the pairs of light blue concrete, and destroy in front of the sand and place sea lanterns. Then place glass extending up on top of the sea lanterns just like this. Then fill the empty spaces in using water, just like that. We also want to do a similar thing just behind us. So in between all of these windows, we want to place 2 by 2 light blue concretes, sand at the back, sea lanterns in front, and then glass in between, and water just behind, just like this. And that is perfect. Next, we are going to fill our giant central tank in using water. So sometimes this is a little bit tricky, hopefully not so much this time. Perfect. Next, we are going to add some smooth quartz slabs across the top of these 2 rows of white concrete. And we are going to remove the entire floor inside of our aquarium and replace it with smooth stone. Next, we are going to add some lecterns in between the back row of 6 tanks, and we are going to add book and quills. So we have kind of like a bunch of infographics for each one of the particular fish or creatures that are in there. We also want to place some spruce stairs. It will end up as 3 here, just in front of the glass of the tank. with spruce signs either side so you can sit and wash the display that is right in front. It's a little bit dark inside of the turtle enclosure, so we are going to just chunk out a rectangular shape here and place some glass in the ceiling, because otherwise it's really dark. That's way better. First of all, we are going to decorate every single tank that we have, and then later add the fish. Our first tank is the central tank. So what I'm thinking is we have an impressive center coral that spurts up out of the middle and just has branches all the way around like this. So it's a little bit abstract, but something like that looks really good, I think. And especially if you add seagrass and sea pickles and kelp surrounding it, even some different colors of corals will just look really, really good. We also want to decorate the entire tank using mixture of grass, kelp, pickle, and just corals. You can add whatever you like in here. I'm trying to keep my inventory at kind of like a minimum amount of materials required, but I mean, just look at that from the outside. That looks really cool. And we want to take a similar sort of approach to each one of these 6 individual tanks as well. So the rule that I've kind of made for myself is 1 bit of green in the tank and a coral. And I'm just going to keep mixing these up. And I'm going to try and not place them in the exact same pattern. And I'm going to try not to repeat too much, but I mean, that's almost impossible in such a small area. So if we take a little look, so this is what each one of these 6 tanks look like from the inside. They're all a little bit different, so I'm happy with that. Next, we are just going to add a little infograph here, just next to where the turtle will be. You could even face it the other direction as well, but I think that there will do just fine. Next, we have to fill every single tank and enclosure in with our aquatic friends, starting with these 6 right here. Step 1, it's easier to fill these tanks in from the top. So our first tank, I am going to add a cod and then fill in the roof. This next one, a pufferfish, fill in the roof. This next one, salmon, fill in the roof. And then this next one, tropical fish, and then fill in the roof. So the thing with these last 2 is that, to my knowledge, I don't think that axolotls are saltwater. But, you know, let's not worry about real life and whether it makes sense or not. Let's just stick our saltwater axolotl into our enclosure. And in this next one, our saltwater frog into our enclosure. Uh-oh. Frog, get in there. No. Good. Okay. Perfect. He wants out. Next, we will place our turtle in his enclosure. Perfect. Next, we have a bunch of plants to place. So these 3 spaces here are meant for the green plants. So we have seagrass, kelp, and sea pickles. And then these 5 are for all of the different corals. So fire coral, bubble coral, tube coral, brain coral, and horn coral. Perfect. And for our center tank, I'm thinking that we have a couple of glow squids, and just a bunch of tropical fish. Just lots and lots of them. Fantastic. Next, we are going to do some landscaping around the aquarium. So first of all, we are going to add jungle leaves, starting here on the right side of the aquarium, and we will extend all the way around the back. And around to the front, and we will stop a couple of rows in front of the entrance here. We also want to add a seat in front of our central area here, so we are going to leave a gap of 2 in front of the 3 middle blocks, and we will have 3 spruce stairs with spruce sides either side, just like this. We are then going to dig, extending in front of the main entrance here, this row of 4, which we will kind of expand a little bit, but we want to dig all the way until we are 2 rows behind that seat, and we want to dig 1 row across in front and extend and connect to the opposite entrance here. And we also want to dig this area back, just extending 2 rows behind the seat as well. So you can see we're just marking out the area here that we want to be footpath. We want to place azure bluettes in front of these 2 windows, but then we want to have 2 rows of smooth stone in front of all of this and connecting to the entrance slash exit on this side as well. So once we've kind of like marked out all of this area, we will simultaneously get it all filled in with smooth stone and also remove any other grass block that is kind of in the way as well. And sure, along the way we'll just put out any fires that may or may not spontaneously occur, because maybe the aquarium's built on lava. That sounds crazy. So we also just want to shape around this central point here as well. So we want to leave a row of grass that just sits along the outside curvature of this display, and it just looks pretty cool like that, so that's absolutely perfect. Next, we are going to further extend these 4 end rows here. We want to further extend these all the way to the end of the grid. And fill in all of these rows with smooth stone. So this is the aquarium portion of this tutorial complete, which leads us on to the next bit. We have to make a seating area for the dolphin show. So, from the front left-hand corner of the aquarium here, we want to count to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, and then backwards by 1. This is where we start the stand by placing 3, 1, 2, 3 light grey concrete. We then want to extend backwards by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and also down, and then across the back of the build by 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and join down, but also forwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to match the front there, and then join down. And then we are going to fill underneath all of the light grey concrete in with light grey concrete. And then we are going to add white concrete along the inside of this area. So the way that we will do this is on the left here, we will have a row of white concrete that just sits 1 row behind the light grey, just on the left and right sides here. Then we want to place a row of smooth quartz stairs in front of the rows of white concrete left to right, and make sure to flare these stairs inwards at the ends. And then behind this, a row of white concrete. And then we will place a row of smooth quartz stairs above and behind this. And then a row of white concrete behind that. And then another row of smooth quartz stairs just to fill in the rest of the stand. That is absolutely perfect. At the front of the stand, we will stack 2 stone brick wall on the left and right. And at the back of the stand, 2 light grey concrete on the left and right. Then add iron bars all the way around the top of the stand, so just connecting everything together just like this. Now we are going to place, starting from on top of this wall right here, a yellow wall, And then we also want to hang over here on the left by 1, so we're going to place an orange. But we effectively just want to keep placing alternating orange and yellow walls, extending all the way across to the right until we also overhang the right side by 1 as well. We're then going to extend the walls forwards, so that is every single one of them in the same pattern. And we want to extend them down as well, so just down. And we also want to add string in front of and below these. And the point is to then place carpet on top of the string that corresponds with the particular colour of wall that is just sat right behind. So we'll just have something which should look like this. Then we are going to start shaping this a little bit. So we are going to extend, we'll start with the end here. So this orange wall up, and we then want to extend back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down, and then back, just like this, right? And then this is kind of the painstaking part. We want to extend every single wall backwards in the same way. So we just take every single one of them, extend them back. Next, we're going to make the dolphin pen? Tank? Question mark? Anyway, we want to, in front of the ends of the stand, count forwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on top of these blocks, place a blue concrete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like this. Connect them together, left to right. And then we will take the right side here and extend forwards, right, and then forwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, forwards. Come to the left side, do the same. Forwards, left, forwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, forwards. And then just connect left to right, just like this. We are then going to remove the entire inside of this area and replace it with, well, the choice is kind of forced. Like, if you want the water to look like really nice and vibrant, I would go with light blue concrete, or light blue wall, or any sort of like nice light blue block, or you could go with sand. It's kind of up to you. Then, in the very middle of the tank, which I think that we actually nailed that first time, we're going to place a couple of iron bars on top of each other, and then on top of the second bar, a red stained glass pane. Outwards from it, yellow glass pane. On top of those, red glass pane. On top of those, yellow, and then finally connect together in a circle with red glass pane, and that makes a hoop. Then we are going to fill the middle of this in using our water. We are also going to add some white stained glass paint around the edge of this. You can just use regular glass as well, but something tells me to use the white glass paint. I don't know why. We are also going to add stairs. 100% on the right here, but you could also add them to the left. These are just on the outer 3 middle blocks. They correspond with the hoop. And then on the outer parts here, we can place barrels, and we can have item frames with like raw cod or whatever sort of fish you think the dolphin might enjoy on top of the barrels. Next, this is a little bit tricky, but we are going to dig 2 entire rows around our dolphin pen. And it's tricky because we have stuff like around the outside, but it might help to first of all, fill the first row in using birch planks. and then adding another row all the way around the outside, which should be significantly easier as there is nothing obstructing us. Which we then just want to fill in with birch planks anyway. We then want to just connect this area to the right, so we are going to do this by digging in front of these smooth quartz stairs here, and then an additional row just left and right. And then we will also connect to our stand as well. So we'll just dig in front of these stairs, and we will just have a nice little birch plank path that leads this way. If you want, you could kind of like curve this a little bit by maybe placing a corner, so to speak, of birch planks. If you think that that looks a little bit better, it looks a little bit more ovular. That's probably a word, connecting back to there, but it's not necessary. Oh, and of course add some dolphins as well, and that will be this particular part of the tutorial complete. By the way, the dolphins will escape like that. You will want to add some barriers around the top. I might even do that right now, because it will be a problem. It didn't take long, did it? You know what, guys? It actually turned out that the dolphins escaped just before I managed to add the barriers. Don't ask where they've gone. You know, they're very fast runners. They definitely didn't, you know. So, the way that we start the park is actually by finding the location of our observing bench. Sounds very fancy when you throw the word observing in front of the word bench. Well, these 3 blocks we want to follow along onto the grass and leave a gap of 2. So 1, 2. And then dig 1, 2, 3, and then backwards 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just like this. So you can see that these line up with the bench. We then want to dig either side just like this, fill these blocks in with sand, add some spruce trapdoors all the way around the edge like this, which you can either leave this like this, or you can flip them all up. It's literally up to you, whichever you think looks better. We are also going to add in the corner a little sand castle. You can even shift it over a block if you like as well. Flower pot, item frame, shovel in there as well. So we have a little sand pit. So we then want to take the middle of the sand pit extending across and leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, this 5th block here. Yeah, let's go for this 5th block. We will place 2 blue terracotta next to each other. 2 smooth quartz slab extending outwards from both sides, and then back to back open spruce fence gates. They want to both face this way though. Hang on. So sometimes it's a little bit confusing with the gates. Okay, so it has to be this way. As long as they look like this, you've done it correctly. You've kind of like got to place it from the opposite side just like that. But the entire point is that they will eventually both look like this. So now we have a seesaw. Moving along, but facing the opposite direction, we want to come to the end of our seesaw and count 1, 2, this 3rd block here, place a stone stairs. An upside down one behind, regular on top, yellow terracotta, drop down, ladders up the back, and an open, facing the opposite way, spruce fence gate just like this. That's perfect. Once again, it's confusing with how you open the gates, but as long as it looks like that, you have done it correctly. Okay, now moving across once again, we want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So kind of like lining up with the edge of the aquarium, maybe even the leaves. We'll go with the leaves. We then want to place 1, 2, 3, 4 red concrete, or red terracotta. Concrete would work too actually. And then extend 1, 2, 3 blocks across, down, a set of 2x2 chains hanging from underneath the top, and then spruce trapdoors underneath the chains. And that will give us a sand pit, seesaw, slide, and also swings. That's 4 S's right there. I just realised all of our stuff is S's. Okay, next we are going to add a giant wall around this area. It seems a shame because it's actually kind of cool just to have this all out in the open, but I suppose it wouldn't make too much sense. So the way that we determine where this wall goes is really simple. We want to place a terracotta either side of the central path leaving a gap of 2 in front of where these birch planks end. And then we simply want to extend the terracotta all the way to the outer boundaries, across to the back, and then across the back of the build itself, all the way along the edge of the grid. You sometimes forget how big these things are. And then leading all the way forwards once more. And ultimately, hang on, back to where we first started. Then we want to extend these 2 first terracotta blocks upwards, and then place oak leaves on top of every single one of the other terracottas. You may also want to extend the corner blocks upwards as well with a terracotta. I don't know whether that was better or not. You could even maybe place a lantern on top of the terracotta blocks to kind of like help mark out this area a little bit more. I don't know, might look weird, maybe. Maybe we'll try it. Okay, let's try the lantern. Here it goes. It's not too bad. Maybe we will place one on each corner. More importantly, we have to make the actual entrance itself. So, right of this terracotta here, we want to place a spruce fence gate, dispenser, and then double spruce fence gate. Item frames in front of the gates with barriers in front, signifying that this is the entrance and this is the exit. We also want to place an item frame in front of this terracotta here with paper in front, a sign above that says something similar to entrance fee, 1 diamondo. That's absolutely perfect, or whatever price you may want to pay. You can even fill the dispenser with paper if you like, so, you know, an actual ticket, and even add a button to the top as well. So if you wanted to, you could. Okay, well, the downside to that is it also opens that gate, so maybe that's not a good idea. So it is up to you, but at least you get your ticket at the end of it. You could even move the dispenser to, say, like here, if you wanted to, or just like above. I'll let you guys use your imagination for that one. The final part of this is removing 2 entire rows in front of our aquarium wall. And replacing them with smooth stone. Next, we have to mark out a bunch of car parking spaces, and it's really simple. So starting in front of the beginning of our path here, we simply want to dig in the ground and place a white concrete powder. Right of this, 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet, and then a powder. And we keep repeating this pattern all the way to our central path. And then through our path, we still do the exact same thing. We then extend the concrete powders all the way forwards and then remove all of the empty space in between the car parking spaces. and replace all of that empty space with cyan terracotta. With that final detail complete, we have officially finished this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now take our sea life sanctuary aquarium and add it into our city. There are plenty of places that this could go, but I think that the most obvious choice is to place it near the beach. We are definitely in need of a huge renovation of this area of the city in particular, but it just makes sense that the aquarium belongs near the ocean. And that's it. I do hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you are looking for more things to add to your Minecraft world, then look no further than the Mini City Builds playlist down below in the description. At the time of recording this tutorial, we have over 80 videos in there for you to watch, follow, and add to your Minecraft worlds, including, and not including, everything that you have seen on screen and more. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.